Oh man, I'm gonna need one of you out there to solve this mystery for me. Like, I'm pretty sure one of you out there is smart enough to figure this out, and I need you to give me an answer, man. Why? Like, why? Why? Tyron Woodley is a fast, explosive, and powerful fighter, a mixed martial arts champion. This is a man who's been fighting for a long time. And he also has good cardio. I'm not saying his cardio is the best cardio we've ever seen. I'm not saying he's got cardio on the levels of Max Holloway or Dustin Poirier, but he does have cardio. We've seen him go 25 minutes twice against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. We've seen him push hard, and we've seen him be able to do this. I mean, we just literally watched him go 8 rounds against Jake Paul in a boxing match, which is all standing. So why is it that we keep seeing this thing? And I'm not the only one that's saying it. You're also saying it. You can see it yourself. He gets into these fights and he just does not push enough. He doesn't throw enough. He's not active enough. Why? Why do you guys think that is? Why do you think that is? Now, there's a whole bunch of questions that we can come to. Do you think it's because he's afraid of getting KO'd? Do you think it's because, he's afraid that if he overextends himself, maybe he's going to get KO'd? Do you think he's afraid of gassing out, getting tired? Do you think that he just kind of forgets? Do you think he's afraid of getting hit? Not even that he's afraid of getting KO'd. Do you think he's just flat out afraid of getting hit? Do you think he was afraid of getting embarrassed? Like, maybe, it would be better if I lost a decision as opposed to getting finished. Like, what do you guys think the problem is? Because this keeps happening over and over again. And I'll tell you guys, man, if there was one fight that I did not expect this to happen, it is this one, especially because of what's surrounding this fight. You're fighting Jake Paul, the Disney kid, who's trash talking, braggadocious. Not just that, his team just insulted your mom, or at the very least, you perceive that they insulted your mom, led to this whole entire controversy and chaotic scene. You're angry. You're a former UFC champion. You've got the weight of the world on your shoulders. There's a lot of pressure. The MMA world is hoping that you can bring this win back for us. I mean, you have a lot riding on your shoulders. And from what I saw, it just did not seem like Woodley did everything he could have done to win the fight. I don't get it, bro. I don't get it, but maybe one of you do. Maybe one of you out there understands. Maybe it's a mental thing. Maybe it's a mental thing that he's just not going to be able to get over. But man, what did we learn today? Honestly speaking, we learned that Jake Paul can box. He can box. I'm not saying that Jake Paul will be able to defeat actual seasoned boxers in there. I don't think he will be able to. I mean, he was definitely rocked and almost finished in this fight by Tyron Woodley. So there's clearly a bunch of holes in there that can be exploited by an actual seasoned boxer. But he can box. He can. He can box. He's been training hard. He's been putting in a lot of money into this thing. He's been putting in a lot of dedication into this thing. If you take a look at that performance, his footwork, his head movement, the jabs he was throwing, the body work, the body head combination that he was throwing, his ring awareness, his ability to keep himself safe. If you watch all that and you still come to the conclusion, yeah, Jake Paul cannot box at all, then you're not thinking this through. He can box, and he's only getting better. That is what we learned today. Because I'll be honest with you guys, man, I wasn't confident that Tyron Woodley was going to win, but I did not think it was going to be this way. I really didn't. I did not think. I thought for sure we would see more. I really did. I thought for sure we would see more. At least we would see him come in with a wider array of punches, jabs, more uppercuts, more hooks, as opposed to the classic overhand right, the good old Tyron Woodley overhand right. The one thing we did see differently is we saw Tyron Woodley pressuring. That is the one difference that we saw today. He wasn't just backing up and letting Jake Paul, back him up. Jake was the one on his back foot the whole entire time, moving really well for 8 rounds. We saw Woodley push, which is good. It's very good. It's not what we're used to seeing from Woodley. We saw him push, which is good. But damn, I would have loved to see more. I really would have loved to see more. And Jesus Christ. The fight ends. It went 8 rounds, by the way. 8 rounds, split decision, Jake Paul. Which, by the way, let me know in the comment section how you guys scored the fight. Do you guys think that the decision is correct? Or do you guys think that Tyron Woodley should have won the fight? Personally, I scored the fight for Jake Paul. I thought he won the fight. I thought he won, I believe it was the 3rd round that he was able to knock down or almost knock down Jake Paul. And I also gave him one more round. But to me, I gave Woodley 2 rounds at most. And then the other rounds I gave to Jake Paul. I might need to rewatch the fight again. I'm just talking from what I remember. But from what I remember, Jake, in my opinion, pretty much won this fight. He was able to land the cleaner punches. He was moving very well. I definitely think he won the fight. But at the end of the fight, Woodley wants a rematch. This is where it gets kind of crazy for me. Woodley wants a rematch. Jake Paul says, "You had your chance to beat me. Sorry, it's done." And then Jake says, "If you get the tattoo," by the way, the tattoo is they both had a bet. Whoever wins, the guy that lost has to get a "I love" tattoo. So if Jake Paul would have lost, he needs to get a "I love Tyron Woodley" tattoo. And if Woodley loses, he needs to get a "I love Jake Paul" tattoo. And so Jake told Woodley, if you agree to get the tattoo that says "I love Jake Paul," I'll grant you a rematch. I'll give you a rematch. Before I grant you a rematch, you have to get a tattoo on your body that says "I love Jake Paul." You have to brand yourself like a cow and say that's. And Woodley was like, "Okay, bet." I'm like, bro. Dude, I'm going to stop just so I don't say something up here that's going to come off as disrespectful. But honestly speaking, man, that is embarrassing. It really is. This little kid that isn't worth your time is getting you to tattoo yourself so that he can give you another chance at a payday.